All right, traders, I ended up finishing strong today in the green, up $4,000 on the day. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be recapping the trades and the strategies that we are consistently using to make money within the stock market. I ended up making a very nice trade on Snapchat. I told you guys I'm going to be bringing stock plays back along with SPY, and I ended up buying Snapchat calls right before it had its high of day breakout for the 10.5 strike calls to go in the money. They were at 4 cents. I was buying between 4 to 5 cents. They went all the way to 20 cents. I sold for a 50% win. I told my team I was content with locking in my profits, but it will likely rocket later. And in terms of the analysis that I put out, the analysis was very spot on, man. If you go to the market commentary section and if you watched my video to the end yesterday, you would have witnessed the analysis of 458 being the best level for puts. The best level for puts is 458, the higher level. We were also interested in 457. Both worked. And if you watched yesterday's video, I told you the SPY was either going to close strong at the highs or in the middle. It ended up closing strong at the highs. So the daily pattern worked out, and the level that I gave out for puts ended up working out multiple times. That 458 level, that was the best level for puts that we mentioned in yesterday's video. So I'm going to show you how this is all possible, and I'm going to show you how I crushed it with this Snapchat trade. I alerted Snapchat calls at 11:58 a.m. I'm going to show you how we're able to do this and crush it, consistently making money within the market. I want to give some big shout outs to the team, man. We had some big hitters today. Look at this. Jared ended up making $62,000 on the day swing trading SPY calls. Big shout out to him within the chat. We had plenty of people crush it, man. So big shout out to everyone. This is my current year to date P&L as of now, 17,000% plus on the year. But I want to give a big shout out to the team because we did fairly well. So in terms of today, patience. Patience and discipline was the key to be successful today. Those two words. Now, first things first, we're going to break down SPY, and then we're going to break down Snapchat. So I decided not to trade SPY. I personally did not like the way that it was moving and trading. I told my team heading into the morning that I'm going to be avoiding puts, and I even raised my standards to 458 to 459 put zone. So I didn't even want to do puts at 457 as this was going up. The reason why was it was forming bullish 30-minute green candles. It kept on forming bullish 30-minute green candles. It kept on bottoming at the low 30-minute wicks, like we talk about all the time. See right here how it spikes back to the high of the wick. It's doing exactly what I teach within these videos. Now, I didn't buy call options because it's towards the upper middle of the channel. In that situation, even in a bull market, I will likely sit out or just wait for a better level to try puts counter trending in a sense where I believe the trend can have a nice pullback, a nice reversal. So that's why I sat out and did not do SPY calls, because it wasn't my plan to be buying call options this high. So I sat out. And when that happens, that's when I will typically look at a watch list that I have of stocks that I'm interested in trading, and I will see if there's some sort of pattern, some sort of setup forming. So I told my team early on I'm not interested in puts until 458. I actually raised it to 458 to 459. That was my put zone, literally towards the exact top. And I also told them, wait for the first bearish red 30-minute candle. If you want your confirmation for puts, man, it was literally in my video yesterday. Everyone should have been green if you utilized that video. I made this very, very clear by reading the 30-minute chart. This is what I said in yesterday's video. I said the best level for puts is when the SPY retest the low of this 30-minute candle, which was 458. 458 was the level. See this bearish trend reversal candlestick right here, and then it crashes big after it closes, right? Well, when it retests the low of this, like it did right here, it sells off again. So I told my team, do the same thing. When it retests the low of this 30-minute candle, it's likely going to drop. So buy put options. Now, if it's a little bit lower and you see the first red 30-minute bearish candlestick, then yeah, you're going to want to buy put options a little bit lower. It's like close enough. You got a bearish confirmation with 1 hour of failed breakout on the highs. This is your red bearish candle. And surely enough, after that first red 30-minute candle, which is what I teach at our key resistance levels, basically when we identify a key level to short, and if it forms a 30-minute red bearish candle, it is likely going to drop for the short term, which is a great opportunity for scalpers and day traders. So if you would have stuck to that, and I saw in my comment section, there were people thanking me using that strategy because they waited for the 30 minutes to close red and they did not get trapped in puts the same way that we didn't get trapped in puts today. And they ended up banking using that strategy because we saw a very, very nice drop. And I also been telling you for over 2 months now, identify a 30-minute low wick where the bears get trapped. Right here, this is a bottom bullish 30-minute wick, and the bears got trapped. It had a very strong uptrend. So if it's going to go back to this level for the first time, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to bounce. And if you would have combined that mentality along with what I said, the SPY is going to close in the middle or strong at the highs, one of the two. So if it's going to close in the middle, you can't really lose because right now it's at the low of day at the bottom 30-minute wick, and it's due for a bounce, and it's later into the day, meaning it can't just keep dropping because it has to close in the middle. So this is likely going to be towards the lows. If you would have used the strategies that I teach within these videos, you should have had a phenomenal green day on not only puts, but calls. So in terms of me personally, I just traded Snapchat. I made my $4,000 for the day, and I told my team, I'm going to stay disciplined, I'm going to stay competent, and I'm going to walk away. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. And I'm completely fine with being content in that sense. I don't feel the need to keep on pushing this every single day. If I hit a nice trade, I'll call it for the day. So now I'm going to go over Snapchat. What business did I have buying Snapchat calls? I'm going to explain to you all the reasons on how I was able to crush this trade. So this right here, you have a lot of resistance, and this resistance is at 1048. So keep this in mind. We have resistance at 1048. If Snapchat breaks above 1048, it has a nice little move to 1057. If it breaks above 1057, it has a bigger move to 1090. So keep that in mind. So I was looking at Snapchat and I told myself, okay, let's take a look at the daily chart, because Snapchat just got destroyed after earnings, and we had one of the moderators who was on a green streak for over 2 months decide to take a gamble, which did not lead to a success, and he ended up swing trading Snapchat calls, and he got absolutely wrecked in that sense with his options. He went with contracts that were a month out, and they opened up down 99%, man. So it just goes to show you, never toss a coin, and don't be in the middle. Swing trading is for the middle. There is scalping, there is day trading, there is swing trading, and there is investing. What I believe in most in terms of your best level of success is scalping and investing, but it's going to take a very, very long time to make some money investing. So basically, I make a lot of money in terms of scalping, and then I take some of that money out and I put it into investments when I see something good, like I've recently done with PayPal stock. But anyways, that's what I focus on. This whole swing trading, holding through earnings, it's all gambling, it's all tossing coin. You have no business being a gambler if you haven't already made it yet. You're not going to make your way to the top and stay there by gambling. It's too fucking hard into today's world. So anyways, I was looking at Snapchat and I was saying, how does this tend to react when it has a massive gap down due to earnings? I'm studying, I'm looking at the chart, I'm saying, okay, right here. It had earnings, it had a massive gap down, and then it started to recover. So I'm saying, oh, maybe it can start to recover, right? I'm studying the past, I'm looking, it's oversold on the chart. I'm also saying, okay, right here, it had a massive gap down, and then on the second day, it had a little breakout, then it started dropping. The point is, when Snapchat has a massive gap down on earnings, and when it's at key support, it tends to kind of go up. It could drop a little bit at first, but overall it tends to kind of recover within some time based off recent history. So that was one of my reasons on wanting to do calls. And I was studying, you have a ton of support right here at this $10 level. This is a very nice level where the bears have been getting trapped. So it's due for some sort of bullish reason, right? Now, this is what put me onto calls. It was the 30-minute chart. It was mainly in the 30-minute chart. The daily chart basically convinced me that this isn't just going to fall off the cliff for the short term. It's due for some sort of move up, right? But this is what caught my attention. You have heavy resistance at this 1030-ish level. You have heavy resistance at this 1040. These were the levels where the bears kept getting trapped. So I noticed that the previous closing price was at this heavy resistance where the Snapchat had a small little drop. So once I noticed that it was forming support and turning the previous closing price into a support level with this bullish trend reversal candlestick and this nice spike consistently breaking out, forming higher support right here, the same bullish candlestick. So look, the same bullish candlestick at the previous closing price, and then after that, it began to break out. It's breaking out, it has a pullback, and it's bullish because it formed that same type of bullish trend reversal candlestick at the previous resistance. That means it's reacting as a support level, which is extremely bullish. So my reasoning behind this whole Snapchat trade and the reason why I started buying call options was looking at the chart. So again, I alerted these at, let's see. So this was alerted at 11:58? Yeah, 11:58 a.m. So let's go to 11:58 a.m. Why did I buy call options exactly at 11:58 a.m.? And keep in mind, I bought at 5 cents, and when it dropped to 4 cents, I had a very nice average. It was at like 4.5 cents. So right here, this is where I got in at 11:58 a.m. So if we go to 11:58 a.m., I got in right here. Now, why did I decide to buy it? Exactly right here. Why did I send out the alert right here? So if we go to 11:58 a.m., it was right here. So I got in at like 10:47 when it was at 10:47. And when it dropped right here, I told them within the chat I just added. It went from 5 cents to 4 cents on this small little drop. The reason why I added was this is previous resistance. And it began to form a trend reversal doji on the 1-minute chart, which is bullish. See how it formed the same doji right here, and then it began to break out. That means it's turning this resistance into support. So to me, this was a no-brainer. It kept on trying to break above the highs. It kept on forming higher support. The 30-minute chart was very, very bullish on Snapchat. If you just take a look at the 30-minute chart, you're going to see it was doing the same exact pattern that it did on this run-up right here. Let me show you in terms of what it is that we're talking about. See this green bullish run-up right here with a strong breakout? It's doing the same thing. You have this green bullish run-up right here with a strong breakout, right? So it's doing the same thing in a sense. Those are the main reasons why I did it. It's turning key resistance levels into bottom wicks, support levels. Right here, bullish confirmation, very, very strong. Right here, bullish confirmation, very, very strong, right? I'm noticing that, and I'm saying, wow. The high of these previous 30-minute resistance are now bullish 30-minute support. This is extremely bullish, and they're going to try to break this out to the next level. Now, here's the crazy part. Everyone loves to trade penny stocks, and they love to talk about all these shit stocks that are running, like AMC. It's all fucking noise. You shouldn't even be watching that garbage. What you should understand is Snapchat calls, when I bought them at 4 to 5 cents, which is $4 to $5 a contract, the price was at 10.47. When Snapchat made those calls go from out of the money to in the money, when it went above 10.50 and the calls went from out of money to in the money, those calls on this move right here, this small little move right here that a lot of people will laugh at, they went up over 50%, 50 fucking percent in minutes, from a 10-cent move from 10.47 to 10.57, 50% plus. And guess what? Those same contracts that I loaded at 5 cents, and I told my team when I sold those contracts, this is likely going to rocket later. I'm going to be content and take my profits because I'm a scalper, right? Understand, if I try to hold something, I'm at risk of giving back the vast majority of my profits and then flipping red. And that can cause a lot of emotions and that can create a lot of big losses. But if I do hold, I can win big, right? But you need to understand, you don't need to win big if you are a scalper. You take your base hits and you cut your losses even quicker. The beauty of scalping is you never lose big because you exit so quickly. That's why I love scalping. One of the biggest reasons why traders are failing is because they have big, massive losses. You know, it's not just, well, obviously, you know, because they don't understand what they're doing. They don't have a strategy that works and stuff like that. They're emotional. They don't have discipline. They lack patience. They just get in, they gamble, they trade. But big losses is a big reason on why traders don't stay in the game. And one way to prevent a big loss is by scalping. Because if you get in and out so quickly and you don't go all in, then you're not going to lose big. And think about it. If you were forced to exit your losses in a very short period of time, what that would do to you is that would rewire your brain to change and adapt and make your strategy better, because you know you're going to get stopped out very, very quickly. So you know that entry matters. You know that timing matters. You know that confirmation matters. All of a sudden, everything matters, because if this goes against me in a short period of time, I have to cut my loss. So I'm going to have to learn the tricks to the game. I'm going to have to learn how the MMs are going to play. I'm going to have to learn that it might actually be a smart idea to be buying call options on a bullish trend when it's going down and it hits that key previous resistance level, when it looks red and bearish, and then all of a sudden it flips bullish. You're going to have to learn these things like I was doing on Snapchat. Like I said, I added right here. I added on Snapchat right here at 12:02 p.m. I added when my calls dropped from 5 cents to 4 cents. The reason why I added was I understood this is previous resistance. It just had a breakout. The uptrend is bullish on the 30-minute. It's probably going to turn this previous resistance into support. Snapchat has been spiking every single fucking time when it forms one of these dojis right here at support, and it formed a doji here, and it formed a doji here, and then it had a nice spike, right? So it's just understanding that, right? So it was just such a no-brainer to me, where like the way I looked at this was like, I was looking at these contracts and I was saying, you know, these are 4 cents right now. It looks like Snapchat's going to have a little breakout. These are 4 cents. The sky is the limit. They're 4 cents. These can easily go to 10, 15, 20 cents with just a small move to the upside. All the stock did was go from 10.47 to 10.6 to 10.70. And the contracts went up 400%, man. 400%. I get it. They're very, very cheap. But guess what? You can buy a lot of contracts. You can buy 100 contracts at, $4 a contract. That's a $400 investment. And then suddenly that flips into a $1,600 to $2,000 trade. So you don't even need a lot of money to do that in a sense. And like I said, I am going to continue to focus on stock plays when I don't want to trade SPY. So if I don't like the way that SPY is moving, so again, the main reason why I stayed away from SPY is because I didn't want to buy calls. So understand, I have strategies that will tell me when to be bullish. And if it's telling me to be bullish and it's confirmed bullish, that doesn't mean I'm buying calls because I have standards, I have expectations. I understand, I want a specific confirmation, but I also want an amazing entry. See, it's not just confirmation. It's not just purely price action, right? If it was just purely price action, my risk to reward wouldn't be too good. And I would be at risk of a major flip like this. This was a major crash. This was the reason why I wasn't buying calls in the morning, because I was concerned that at some point during the day, 457, 458, levels I provided in yesterday's video, it was going to crash. That's why I'm not buying calls, even though my strategy says this is bullish, buy calls. But it also says you need a best price. You need a key level, right? And if you just understood the video that I posted yesterday in the analysis, I told you it was going to either close in the middle or close strong at the highs. So it basically closed very, very strong towards the upper middle. And in terms of when to buy, I always tell you, identify the 30-minute wick. Wait for someone to get trapped. Wait for the coin to get tossed. Okay, what is happening? I'm not trading. I'm patient. I'm disciplined. I visually see that the bears have gotten trapped, and they've gotten trapped from the low of this bullish 30-minute wick. And what did Will say in yesterday's video? He said SPY loves to bounce off the low of these 30-minute wicks. It loves to bounce off of levels where bears get trapped, and he said it's likely going to close in the middle or close strong. So if SPY has a big sell-off from 458, and I made it very, very clear that SPY was going to sell off when it retests the low of this wick. Why? Because that's what it did right here. When it retested the low of this wick, it had a big sell-off. So when it retests the low of this wick, it has a big sell-off. When SPY goes back to a level that was a previous support level that then crashed and was never retested, that triggered a crazy bull trap, the most likely outcome is it's going to reverse and start to drop and then go back down to where it previously came from to start to fill this gap from 450 to 250, right? So if all this is playing out perfectly, you should have been extremely confident to buy calls at the low of day. Look at this, man. What's your risk? If you're buying calls right here at 455.20, you've risked like 50 cents. What's your reward? Your reward is what I told you. The upper middle to strong close at the highs. There's your reward, man. So this was just such an obvious confirmation to be buying calls into. And like I said, I didn't do this because I called it for the day. I don't have to sit here and act upon my analysis that I provide in real time. I can give my analysis. It's like a market maker. I will give you the trade ideas. I will give you the confirmations. I will give you the strategies. And then you, as a student, have to go out and fish. You have to actually act upon this stuff. You have to be self-sufficient. You don't want to be relying and blindly trading on other people's alerts. You have to learn how to fish as a trader. You have to learn how to snipe, how to scalp. You can't just be blindly following people here. That's for the fucking streets. You don't want to do that, right? So those are the tips. Those are the tricks that I can give you. Again, just very, very simple. Recap the strategy. Like I told you, SPY was going to close in the middle or strong at the highs. And the best level for puts was identified right here. This is very simple. You see the pattern, man. The low of this candle, this is a bearish trend reversal wick. The low of this candle, when it cracks, big sell-off. When it retests the low of this candle, after having that big sell-off, when it goes back up to retest it, what does it do? It drops. It drops. So we have the same pattern that just formed. Trend reversal candle, trend reversal candle. Big red 30-minute, big red 30-minute. So when it retests the low of this candle, 458, what's it going to do? It's going to fucking drop. Now, what would be the best confirmation? A red, bearish 30-minute candlestick. That's your best confirmation right there. It's red, it's bearish, and it's at resistance. And another thing you need to understand is, you have to be able to read and understand price action as well. I see people get faked out all the time. They'll be shorting because the candlestick's bearish, but it's at a terrible level to be shorting at, and then they'll get squeezed. Then it's actually bullish in that situation. And then it happens the other way as well. They'll be buying calls because it looks bullish, but it's at a very strong resistance level. Like right here, this might look a little bullish, so maybe people buy some calls because it's a nice green bullish candlestick and they want to follow the trend, right? It looked like it formed the same candle here, so it's going to try to go up, right? Like it did here. Well, guess fucking what? It's a terrible level to be buying calls. You need to understand no matter what confirmation you have, if it is a bad level to buy calls or puts, fuck the confirmation. Don't use it. And don't just go against it. Don't just go flip sides now and say, oh. But if you're seeing a red bearish 30-minute candle and then another, look, this is a triple top, man. It's a triple fucking top. There is 2 red bearish candlesticks here, and it's a triple top. It's like a quintuple top. It's a quintuple fucking top. There is 4 30-minute candles in a row at 457.50 to 457.78. Our zone was 457 to 458. Put 2 and 2 together. If SPY is sitting at our level, at our zone, where we want to buy puts, and it's sitting there for 2 hours straight, it can't break out, and it forms a 30-minute red, what do you think is going to happen? You tell me, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to drop. And then if SPY is going to drop from our key level, that should give you all the confidence in the fucking world to buy calls when it retests the low of day of this bullish 30-minute wick, man. Everything I teach and I provide in these videos worked out to a T phenomenally in terms of today, man. And that's what you have to do. You have to be self-sufficient and do this on your own, man. Apply the education that I shared with you in these past 2 videos and I've been sharing with you with the 30-minute chart, and you're going to get results. The catch is you must identify the key levels, you must wait for confirmations, you must be patient, and you must be disciplined, self-sufficient. Not relying on other people to alert stuff. I'm going to point you in the right direction. I'm going to teach you the strategies, and I'll try my best to alert you when I see something in real time, right? But I'm going to have times where I call it. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm up $4,000 on the day. I'm going to walk away. I'm content. I don't feel the need to keep on going at it. I have a lot of other things to do. There's a balance to life. There's more than life to making money as well. And then I also have a lot of other, streams of income to focus on in businesses and stuff like that. It's not just trading. And that's my goal for you. My goal for everyone watching this video is to be more than a trader one day. And that's something that I do want to provide to you as time goes on. I would like to teach you other ways to make money and other ways to start business and stuff like that. But right now we're mainly focusing on trading. But I do believe it's very important to have other sources of income and to either work for a business that you believe in or start your own business. But anyways, I'm going to leave it off at that. If you guys want to use this weekend to study and to learn and to surround yourself with a network with a great community, then it's going to be the first link down below in the description. So here's the deal, guys. Traders Society is going to be officially closing starting end of July. End of July, we're going to be closing the program. We're going to be reopening up once we have upgraded the servers, once we get members better results. We're going to reopen up the program to the public, but we're going to be raising the price a lot. The price is going to be going up a lot. So if you do want to join Traders Society, you're lucky enough to see this video right now, because this is the best time to join, and this is the lowest you will ever see it priced at. It's the first link down below in the description. We will be raising the price beginning end of July, and it will be temporarily shut down for members only access. We will likely be reopening it up in 1 to 2 months after we do a lot of upgrades and we get members better results. We're going to focus a lot more on the members that we have right now, get them some results and work with them on a closer basis instead of just attracting a bunch of new members currently at the moment. So that's the game plan, and that's what we're planning to do. Now is going to be the best time to join if you're looking for that extra guidance and if you're looking for the best deal possible. It's the first link down below within the description. I'm going to leave it off at that if you want to use this time to study the video lesson library. And also, we have a couple of future traders. This is another thing. Willis is a moderator within the chat. He trades futures. Also, Harry is a great trader on futures as well. I've known Harry for over 5 years. We have some future traders within the chat. So for any of you who are interested in futures, for any of you who are interested in the prop trading accounts and stuff like that, that is available within Trader Society as well, because we have attracted some futures traders. I don't know if I'm going to be getting into that personally as time goes on. I will have to see. As of now, I'm just focused on trading options, mainly on SPY, and then trading some stocks when SPY has no opportunity to present itself, or when I just don't like the price action on SPY, or I just don't want to trade it, right? So that's going to be it, man. And again, another reason why I called it after my Snapchat play, even though there was great plays on SPY after that, it was simply understanding that, how am I going to top that? How am I going to top a trade where I just made 50% in 7 minutes? It's very hard to top that in a sense. And I also said it's likely going to rocket later, which it didn't. It went up 200%. So I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to top that? I'm just not going to be able to top that. So I'm up nicely on the day. I was red yesterday. How am I going to top that? Let's walk away. And that's what you have to do. You have to know when to just walk away. And you have to think, and you have to actually understand, if I'm up $1,000 on the day, and I decide to make another trade, it better be an amazing setup. And I better know how much I'm willing to risk of that $1,000 that I made, because there's no way in hell I'm going green to red no matter what, right? I think traders, they just want to keep on trading and see, who can make the most amount of, how much money they can make on the day. They're just trying to make the most amount of money they can on the day, use all their buying power. You guys need to use risk management. You need to understand, if I'm going to enter another trade and I'm up $1,000 on the day, then I better make sure that I'm not going to go flip green to red. And I better make sure that whatever I risk is what I'm comfortable with risking. So if you're going to have one more trade and you're going to risk $500 and you lose, then you're up $500 in the day. And that's something you have to be comfortable with doing. If you don't want to lose $500, then lose $300. If you want to be able to make 2 more trades, then lose $250 per trade. And you're trying to make double to triple what you're losing, right? So always understand that, man, because I see that happen sometimes where people are doing great and then they just flip red. And I feel like these people don't think. They just don't have a thought behind there's just nothing behind their eyes. All they're trying to do is just make money. They're not trying to keep their money. They're not trying to be competent and say, okay, I'm green on the day. If I see a great trade, I'll take it. But what's my max pain going to be? Where am I going to have my trailing stop loss at, right? So just make sure you think about that, because that's very important, because that's one of the worst feelings is flipping green to red. And I see that happen sometimes to traders. So I just want you guys to understand, if you are green on the day, have a plan and raise your standards. If you're going to keep trading, make sure it's an amazing setup, right? Make sure it's something that you can top, or at least it's something you feel is as good as your last trade. And just make sure you know how much you're going to risk and you are comfortable with that risk and you stick to that risk and to that plan. Think about it. If you're up $1,000 and you said, you know what, I'm going to make one more trade on the day. If something comes, I'm going to take it. And I'm going to risk $500. You're going to make sure that you're going to have a phenomenal trade, because you don't want to go from $1,000 to $500. You're going to make sure that's a damn good trade. But you better respect the fact that if you go from $1,500, that you got to cut your loss. There's no way in hell you're holding past that. So those are some tips and tricks I want to give you guys, and I just want to address that, because that's a terrible thing to see when someone's up nicely on the day and they do go green to red. I'm going to leave it up at that. First link in the description if you want to join Trader Society. I will see you guys till then.